no rough. Not at all. No in the slightest. But, in all seriousness, you cannot wipe the smile off this face. I woke up with this morning. Cheesered. Chuffed. Smile was through the roof. It was off my face. Wow. We need to sit down and talk about yesterday in a little more depth, with a little more quality, don't we? From what was yesterday's match reaction. It was that bad a match reaction that I said it was 4-1 at one point, I think. I don't know where I imagined the Rangers goal coming from, because they were fucking close. But yeah, I somehow managed to get the scoreline wrong. God knows how, because yesterday got one of the most memorable derbies in recent times, one of the most memorable scorelines in recent times, as Paradise was rocking Celtic 4, Rangers 0. Say it again, Rangers 0, Celtic 4. And that's the other way, but one more time, Celtic 4, Rangers 0. That was a score yesterday. I don't know about you, but I am very happy. I am in a very good mood. It's nice to see y'all coming in, piling in, looking rough, mate. Looking rough, mate. I love how he's just cut straight to the point. Yes. Do you know what, actually, in all honesty, I'm not actually feeling that rough. I'm not feeling that bad. I felt quite fresh this morning when I woke up, and I think that was just genuinely the good mood, the enthusiasm from yesterday's result that carried through. Because usually when you wake up after a booze, you've got nothing to smile about. It's just life goes back to normal, and there's not much to cheer about, not much to do. So you usually lie in your bed quite, But, I mean, how could you not wake up as a Celtic fan and not be buzzing after yesterday, and not be excited for the future? And Tuesday, of course, right round the corner. We'll touch on that in this match review. Everything unbelievable. So we're here to have a discussion all about it, because, as I said, I didn't really get the chance to do a proper match review yesterday. My process was that I was meant to take my equipment down and leave it somewhere near Celtic Park in a car, film, whatever. Never got round to doing it. Didn't trust my equipment being left in a car somewhere. So I ended up leaving it. We started walking towards town. I was like, what am I going to do? So I jumped to the Morrison's car park, and that's how I filmed that. But I had a very limited time to work on, so I got it all recorded. Then I realised about 4 hours later, after I had rendered it and edited it, that I hadn't uploaded it. And that's why it wasn't up till later either, because I forgot to upload it. So I was in Murphy's, and I think it must have been about 7 o'clock or something like that, 6, 7 o'clock. And I was halfway through a pint. I just went, the video. I had to run outside and, I sparked up a snout and uploaded the video. So that was the process yesterday, but brilliant. There's over 400 viewers in now, so we can start having a good conversation about yesterday's game and everything we missed. Thank you for the £5 donation, Ian. An absolute pleasure. Hi, Ryan. Great result yesterday. Pity about Kyogo's injury. Yeah, we're going to talk about Kyogo's injury and everything else, all the incidents from the game. It is a shame, but thank you for the £5 donation, and thank you to Blake as well. £2 donations. I like what you saying, Boydie. What is Boydie saying? What has he been saying? He's been awful quiet, I feel. I didn't watch the coverage, so I didn't get to see him on the telly or nothing. Shout out to everybody that I met yesterday, by the way. I need to start taking a notebook out and writing down names. The amount of folk asking for shout outs and photos, and they tell me their names, and I just forget. In my memory, I was speaking to someone who said last year I made their gran a video saying happy birthday. I couldn't remember. I can't remember last week, never mind last year. So if I met you yesterday and I said you'd get a shout out, my apologies, because half the names have probably slipped from my head. So I'm just going to have to just give you all a general shout out. Right, don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's weird because I want to do that tomorrow, but then we've got the preview for Real Madrid to do. I'm actually pre-match press conference tomorrow. We'll get to speak with the manager, so keep an eye out on the channel. I'll be at Celtic Park for the Real Madrid press conference. We need to ask Ange the big hitting questions. So it should be very exciting. Very exciting indeed. Anyway, right, we've chin wagged enough. Let's talk about this game yesterday. Celtic 4, Rangers 0. Domination from start to finish. Just utter, plain and utter domination. There's not many words in the English language and in my vocabulary that can sum up what we've seen yesterday on that park. I was sort of in disbelief, but as crazy as it sounds, you know how you've got that feeling of disbelief. You can't quite believe what's happening right in front of your eyes. This can't be real. But were you surprised? I had a feel. I'm going to revert back to the things. There was a lot of things I said in Hamish's video. Hamish's video was brilliant. It was a good preview to do with him over on his channel. And I said a few things on that I've been vindicated in. But one of them, I think he actually cut it out the bastard. I think he cut it out. But I said in it, 4 or 5-0 would be nice, and I don't see why not. And I think he cut it, something along those lines. And I said it jokingly, not knowing that I didn't want to be clipped and mocked if we'd never beat them. But there's just something about this Celtic team at the minute that a 4-0 against Rangers is believable. And the performance that we've seen and the goals going in the back of the net and everything else that happened on that park in relation to Celtic yesterday is believable. And even in relation to Rangers, because what was proven about Rangers was a lot of things. I am not disputing for a moment that they are not a good side. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they're mince or rotten. They're in the Champions League, they're there for a reason, but they're not at Celtic's level, is what I'm trying to say. They're nowhere near our level. We were accused of standing still at the start of this transfer window when we just signed Jota and Cameron Carter-Vickers, and I think we had Siegrist and Bernabei at the time. Well, apparently stood still. We watched a Rangers side there who's not only just standing still, they are moving backwards. And that is very good news for us. You look at the reaction from Rangers fans right now, there's major concern over at Ibrox, over that result yesterday and everything else. A lot of people doubting the board's and competence, the manager's competence. There's so much negativity, whereas at Celtic, we are just on top of the world, as the chant goes. We're loving life, there's positivity. Good news after good news. There's not been a negative thing to happen at Celtic for a good while now. In fact, cast your mind back to maybe the Higgins situation. You put that aside, the fans, the club are in a really good harmony just now. We're singing from the same hymn sheet in every department. We've been very happy with our transfer business. We're very happy with what we're seeing in the park. Everything's just coming up Millhouse, to say the least. And that difference is seen in the way these sides play, and that's one of the reasons that Rangers aren't on the same level as Celtic, and we showed that yesterday. We absolutely pumped them, and I loved every last moment of it. People say you have to be sick to enjoy the demise of another club. Well, I am a very sick man. I am on my deathbed. I am incredibly fucking sick. Put me in an IV drip now because I love it. We are the champions, and that's for a reason. Jacob Miller, 449 donation. Rangers weren't even near us. Bring on Madrid for a well-needed test. This league is nothing to us right now. Thank you for the donation, Jacob. I wouldn't say the league's nothing to us. It's the bread and butter, isn't it? We want to make the progressive steps in Europe, and Real Madrid will come on to later on in this live stream. We'll talk all about them because the confidence is flowing heading into that game against Real Madrid. Kev with a 179 donation. Thank you very much, Kev. He says, Jota goal, one of the best derby goals of all time. I said it, I turned to Kieran Auld as soon as the ball hit the back of the net, Kev. The first words I said is, that goes down as a derby classic. That's a goal we're going to talk about for years to come. I think was it somebody yesterday that said this to me, or did I see it on Twitter? I think somebody actually said this to me. I can't remember now though, but someone said in Murphy's or something yesterday, like, it makes Larsson's look like a tap-in. And I was laughing away at it because obviously Larsson's goal is incredible. I don't think it'll ever be top, but Jota's was just another unbelievable derby goal, and it's definitely up there. There's a lot of comments piling in. Don't worry, I'm going to try my best. If you want priority, then you know what to do, donate, because they're getting thrown up. Felt so much pride to be a Celtic fan yesterday, says Blake. Thank you for the £2 donation, and absolutely, it's one of those games, the final whistle goes, everybody's on their feet, you're looking around, and it's like you just want to kiss the badge. You just want to, you're just drinking it all in, and it feels nothing better to be a Celtic fan in moments like that. So many comments coming through. We're going to do a Q&A as this goes on, but we've got to talk about the game itself because we've not said too much on it so far. But as I was leaving off on before the donations came through there, Rangers are just nowhere near our level at the minute, and we made them look like children. We made them look like they were a team of schoolboys, to be quite honest. The fact that they couldn't get anywhere near us, the way we trapped them into their own half. The second half was a bit more open. Rangers allowed themselves into it a little more. They obviously tested Joe Hart on a couple of occasions. But first half in particular, they couldn't get out. And our press was unbelievable. And that's with the first minute disaster of Kyogo going off the park. When Kyogo went off the park, I had a little bit of concern that we'd lose a bit of a press. That we would be a bit slower at getting to them and keeping them locked down. But we didn't. We just kept going. Giakoumakis came on and he ran his pan in. He tried his absolute best. He might not be as effective as what Kyogo is at the old pressing side of things, but he certainly gave it a good knock, and the rest of the team just had them trapped in. Rangers were so fucking scared. I have never seen a team of shite bags like that in my life. And I try my best, and I come on here, win or lose after these derby games, I always try to come on level-headed. I try to be unbiased, and I try to just say it how it is, and that's me saying it how it is. They looked like a team of shite bags, some of the biggest I've ever seen. I looked all along that back four for Rangers yesterday, Taverner, Goldson, Sands and Barisic. I would be absolutely ashamed if any of those players gave a performance like that to Celtic, or any other team performed like that in a derby game. They were so scared of the attacking prowess that we had, the press that we had. They wanted to slow the game down at every possible opportunity, and we just wouldn't allow them. Remember, Stevie from GigPod, brilliant tweet from him. I think he put it in the GigPod account. He put up a tweet of Ange saying we never stop. Remember that? They heckled it. They laughed at it. They took jabs at him. They were giving it stinking to Ange Postecoglou when that video came out in his first training session. And now it fucking gives them nightmares. And I love that. I absolutely adore that, in fact. So we never stop. Laugh at it all you want, but it's certainly right. We don't stop. We do not stop. Donation from Adam, by the way. Thank you very much, Adam. Hero. Hope you enjoyed your night, mate. 179 excited about Tuesday, but this result was critical. Absolutely. And Adam as well with £1.79. Saying thoughts on Goldson should have been sent off. I'm not going to lie to you, Adam. I've not had the chance to see the incidents to give an honest opinion. I've not heard too much chat of him being maybe sent off, or should have been sent off. So I'm not going to comment right now. £2, Abada Maeda. Well, let me come on to the next point. Thank you for the donation, Yam78. I want to talk about this a lot. Another thing that I mentioned and I wanted to bring up from the 67 Hail Hail video. I was very passionate about the fact that I wanted Liel Abada to start yesterday. I said my exact words on Hamish's channel was, I think if he gets into those goal-scoring areas and he gets into those positions, he's got more chance of scoring the goals. And he's got to get into those areas and pop up in them more often than what Maeda would. I think Maeda's a better runner and he gets at players, and we've seen that when he came on the park. But if you want goals, I think Abada just offers a better threat, and he pops up in the right positions. And you know what? He done that yesterday on 2 separate occasions in the first half. Say what you want about fucking John Nahons McLaughlin, but Abada's in the right place at the right time, and he's got the goal-scoring instinct. He finds the target, he puts him in the back of the net, and that gets us 2 goals in the first half, and that's the exact reason I wanted him to start the game. When it comes down to personal preference, it's always been Abada for me. It probably always will be Abada for me, but Maeda's a fantastic player too, and I think Maeda will probably start the game on Tuesday, I must admit. Hello, Juddy son, how you doing? And hangover's actually no too bad, but I just knew that Abada starting the game was going to be good news for us, and I knew that I was going to be vindicated in what I said in Hamish's video, because it's just the threat that Abada carries. It's so underestimated, and I think that Barisic slept on that. I think Barisic is rotten anyway. Remember there was a point in time, and I said maybe Barisic about the Rangers side. Christ, now it's none of them. But I said maybe Barisic. Rotten anyway. And I think that I could have done a job on that right-hand side for Celtic yesterday, never mind Abada, but Barisic, I think, underestimated him and slept on him with so many games. You look at his goals and areas he gets into. I think that if you have Maeda starting in these games, they're going to try and glue a man to him because he's so fast, and they're going to be watching him all the time so he doesn't move. But people sleep on that with Abada, I think, and that's why he's good at getting into these areas. Because I feel like people underestimate his movement and his speed, and because he's not Dyson Maeda, and he gets the goals. So yeah, I'm buzzing about Abada starting the game and getting the goals. Jota's goal, and that obviously that's the third goal in that half. Just unbelievable. He's a player of tremendous quality. From my angle, from my seat, it looked as though he'd fucked it. I thought his first touch had let him down. Turns out it was just because it was a kind of slightly harder pass. He couldn't do much about it. But in reality, the touch is actually brilliant. It's actually really, and I don't know if it's deliberate, the amount of the way it comes off him, if he's intending on doing that with the first touch. But when you go back and watch it, it's actually really intelligent. It's really fucking helped him, because it allows him to get into the stride, to get himself into that, get his body into position, to chip McLaughlin the way he does. As I said, John Nahons McLaughlin. And he chips him an absolute screamer. He scants him. He leaves his cock and balls hanging, to say the least. And, it's one of the classic derby goals, right there in front of our very eyes. It was tremendous. As I said, second half, we kind of turned it down a little bit. I don't think that was through any fault of our own. Hold on, I'm taking a drink. I've got Droof. You know what it's like if you've been boozing to fucking 2, 3 in the morning. Droof. I was on tinnies for the first time in a long time yesterday. No, I had a tinny in a good while. I think it's been about a year since I've had a tinny. And we were walking back from the town. We went to my mates in Shettleston. And we went into the Scot Mid, and I was like, oh, fuck me, there's nothing here. Tinnies it is, and the droof is real. That's nice. That is really nice, actually. I could down that on this. What time me? We'll see how fast I can get it down. Yeah, absolutely tremendous. Feel free, Boca Boy, feel free. I love a good edit. Second half, yeah, I think that we turned it down a little bit, but I think that was more with Rangers' approach to the second half. They knew they had to come out. You know, we all kind of said, everybody I was talking to in the stairs at half time, you know, my mates and then people who watch the channel and such, we all said the same thing. Like, we could beat them by 5 or 6 goals, but they won't allow it. They were going to obviously come out and show something. They had to have a bit of fight in them, a bit of character. Otherwise, you know, Gio was suddenly staring down the barrel of a gun. The fans have gone after nuts. It was, you know, they had to change something, and they did. They were a little bit better set up. They held on to the ball a little bit more. They got into a half a little bit more. Celtic made really smart substitutions, I thought, as the game went on. I liked the way we went about it. It was sad not to see Adhak Sabanovic come on, I must admit. But, I mean, when you're 4-0 up with 10 minutes to go, you're not really caring who's on the park. And, of course, the fourth goal was a gift from God, you could say. No, it was a gift from John McLaughlin. Passed straight to David Turnbull, back of the net. A moment like that kind of sums it all up, doesn't it? It just shows the clear difference. And, you know, one thing I said on the podcast or Hamish's channel, can't mind now, I'm just reverting back to these previews, because I feel like I've been Mystic Mac this game. I said who was going to be the key player for Celtic. It was in the Q&A video that I done on the channel. That was it. It was the Q&A one, standing outside Celtic Park myself when I got chased by the fucking bee. And I was asked who's the key player. I said Matt O'Reilly. 2 assists yesterday. Pivotal in the creation of all of our goals, I would say, apart from the Turnbull one. Played to the Ange Ball system as good as I've seen anyone do it. He's just perfect player. I thought he was the key man yesterday, Matt O'Reilly. I thought he was unbelievable, and his 2 assists go to show that. And once again, a wee bit of Mystic Mac from myself. So it was just absolutely brilliant, and the whole team was brilliant. Thank you, Eric McCafferty. I love the second name, sir. Yes, my mother's maiden name, in case anybody's wondering. Thank you very much. I appreciate the donation, sir. I really do appreciate that. Yeah. And obviously 4th goal, as I've said, and now the reaction is just incredible, isn't it? You've got one side of Glasgow who are 5 points clear, they're in cloud 9, we're loving life, you really couldn't be more positive at the moment, and then you've got the other side who are suddenly in meltdown. And I'm not saying that you know you have to enjoy it, you know, it's up to you what you enjoy if you're into a sick thrill, but I'm certainly fucking enjoying it, because the reason I'm enjoying it is because, you know, what we've had to listen to the last couple of years. Marcus Miller, by the way, thank you for the donation. Cameron Carter-Vickers' chopper didn't leave Kolak's arse all game. Fucking hell. What a way to put it. Love it, Marcus, but you're right. Defensively, we were brilliant yesterday again. And Taylor, brilliant. Vickers, brilliant. Starfield, brilliant. You know, everybody was... There wasn't a bad player on it for us in the park to sum that up. But in terms of, you know, we've had to listen to so much. And I know that there's a lot more... a lot of sort of quieter Rangers fans who know what the script is just now, and they can admit that Celtic are a much better side, and the vast majority don't bother coming on my channel to comment anyway because they're probably quite normal. But the ones that do come on to comment, and they like to make it very clear that Celtic are miles behind, they like to remind us that they went unbeaten for 2 years. Stop living in the past. You have been absolutely tanked off us since Ange Postecoglou has came to this club. Tanked. You know, we battered you yesterday. We levered yous. We won a league title when we were supposed to be nowhere near winning the league title last season. Yet we keep hearing these same things as if we're still playing COVID ball. It's gone, let it go. You need to, and this is the thing now, you look at the meltdown that some of them are having, the same ones that told us we were going to get pumped, the same ones that told us that Rangers are far clear. You're seeing the same ones now talk about how a Europa League final run has papered over the cracks. And you see the same ones talking about how there's a serious problem with the manager that they've got in charge, when months ago he was a legend. It's the same thing, and it's the same with both sides of the derby, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Celtic fans don't do the same on occasion, because they do. If you're not level-headed enough, you get caught up in your own shite. But Rangers fans in particular have got this real big problem with getting carried away. And, you know, it's the same thing every 2 months, and it's the same, and this is what I'm saying, it's not every Rangers fan. I'm not trying to generalise Rangers fans in general here, but a large proportion of them on social media. The same people will post 1 minute about how James Tavernier isn't good enough to be a Rangers captain or a Rangers player, and he's been bang average for his career. They'll go and win a game 2 months later and he'll score a penalty, and he's the best player that's ever played for them. He's a club legend. If he's a club legend, fucking Christ. Boy, I could have done a better job than him yesterday. And I mean that. It was rotten. And he's been rotten on so many occasions. But it's so, like, reactionary. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes. Oh, is Joe Black away? Oh, is he away? Oh, great. Peace and quiet. Okay, I don't really see his tweets nowadays anyway. I think I've got him muted. I don't get sucked into it all as much. But it'll be cracking for the reaction video. Aye, just brilliant. Yes, they posted Cogley his comments after the game in case you've not had the chance to hear. I mean, you're not, it's like living under a rock. Said the boys were outstanding from start to finish. We know what the game means to our supporters. We've given them another memorable day, and the players deserve all the credit for that. You can win games in many ways, but our form has been outstanding, and we've been getting better every week. If we keep going like that, we're going to be hard to stop. Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be hard to stop, and just touching on Real Madrid on Tuesday, the confidence that brings us going into that game, and a game where most people will have us down for a cuffing. Most people will think that Celtic are due a spanking from Real Madrid on Tuesday. And who knows, they're the champions of Europe. They're the best team in world football playing Celtic. You know, there's a realistic chance of it, but you couldn't ask for a better way to send yourself into it. Christ, you're making it known to me, mate, that you're... I get it, 2-1. What the hell? Aye. So, you know, I'm buzzing about the prospect of it. It's got to be a great atmosphere again. If it's anything like it was on Saturday, yeah, I'm feeling confident. There's no reason why we can't take the game to Real Madrid. I'm not saying we're going to win the game. A lot of people think we will, and rightfully so, because with the mood in the camp just now and the form that we're on, I wouldn't fault you for thinking that we can beat Real Madrid tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Tuesday. We're just so good at this moment in time. So, yeah. Sorry, when you're doing these live streams, sometimes you've just got to act natural. I mean, I'm going to have to take a drink of water. Listen to my throat. Celtic 10, Madrid 0. Yes, absolutely. The banner I thought was brilliant as well. I thought the banner was brilliant. They were laughing at it, ripping in half, and it still turned out to be class. I was actually underneath it. You know, I couldn't see a fucking thing, sitting holding it. And then it suddenly just started going down. So I'm like, who's pulling it away? And obviously I couldn't see that it ripped from my seat. If you know where I sit, I don't have a view of it. I was underneath the fucking thing. And then I seen obviously later on Twitter that it ripped in half or something. But it looked great. It looked absolutely fantastic. And the mood and the atmosphere in the stadium yesterday was absolutely tremendous. Yeah. So there we go. That's my review. Stay with us. We'll have a wee Q&A session as we always do in these streams. I've got 950 viewers as things currently stand, which is just absolutely obscene. You're unbelievable. You've been knocking it out the park since I got back from my holidays. Honestly, I cannot express how grateful I am for the support. And yesterday, despite it being a kind of makeshift video and poorer quality than usual, and the insight being slightly half scooshed, I still managed to rack in the views, the comments, the likes, and everything. So I appreciate your support. And we had an absolute laugh yesterday. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing, to say the least. Right, let's have a Q&A then for the last sort of 10 minutes of the stream. Am I going out tonight? You mad? No, absolutely not. We'll wait till Tuesday. And then we can see. All right, Ryan, thanks for the content. Told you on Tuesday we'd thrashed them. Listen, everybody, I remember comments flying in, people saying we'd batter them, and I never doubted them. For a second. I think I said 3-1, but, you know, walking to the game, I was thinking, you know, we can repeat February here, and we went on one better than we did from February. It was brilliant yesterday, but can we please get the back throwing the missiles at the corner? Shocking behaviour. It's a derby, Ian. It's a derby. Let him away with it. No, we shouldn't be throwing stuff at players now. We shouldn't be throwing stuff at players. The Bella Ciao chant, absolutely brilliant. Love it. Right, any questions? Let me get a question. Did you see Sands of Canning? No, I did not. I don't. I can't remember yesterday, to be quite honest with you. I've been making this up so fucking go. News in Kyogo. Well, listen, we've not even spoke about Kyogo actually, so good question. Any news on him? Sonny's asking. No news as of yet. Obviously tomorrow I'll get the chance to speak with the manager. So I'd imagine the question will be asked. I was going to say I'll ask, but that'll be the first thing that's probably asked. It'll be Rahman or something that asks, or Ronnie Charters or something like that will probably ask about Ange's Kyogo's injury update. It was really bizarre, wasn't it, the way it all kind of happened, especially if you were at the game. It was a bit confusing because obviously we were still in the kind of the pandemonium of the game starting and the euphoria of the pre-match build-up, so it just kind of was there and then it wasn't, and I was very confused as to what actually happened from my seat. And then next thing you know, he's off. Looked as though he was holding like his shoulder. Is he dislocated his shoulder or something? Hopefully it's not something that keeps him out long, but we're awaiting an update. We'll hopefully have an update tomorrow from the manager, but it's safe to say it's safe to say that I think that he's probably not going to start against Real Madrid. So we'll wait and see. Let's see. Questions. I seen one there that I wanted to answer. Do you think this Ange's team, the Ange's team is better than the Martin O'Neill team? Listen, I wasn't lucky enough to actually watch Martin O'Neill's side. When he left Celtic, I was 5 years old, so I never really got that chance or that opportunity to watch them, and they were unbelievable, obviously, and the players that were in that team. Listen, if you were to match them up 11 for 11, I still reckon that Martin O'Neill's side would win. For player, I think Martin O'Neill's side would win. I mean, look at it. Henrik Larsson, Chris Sutton, John Hartson, Stan Petrov, Neil Lennon, Alan Thompson, Bobo Baldi, Johan Mjalby, Didier Agat. You know, name all these names. It was a good fucking side. You know what I mean? Player for player, I think it would beat this current team. But there's one thing it can't win in, and that is just, you know, style and just football. Just the way we play. This is the most fun I've had watching and following Celtic in my life, absolutely. But I think it would be a tough contest between the two. Thank you, Ian, again for another donation. You're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you. My man of the match was O'Reilly. I agree. I think he might have been mine as well, Matt O'Reilly. So, see, the thing is, O'Reilly can do so much while also being so quiet. Like, you know, he's not on the score sheet, but he's just contributed so much to the game, and he's definitely up there as one of the players who deserve a shout for man of the match. Let's see. Rodgers got battered 5-2 off Brighton. Was never good at Celtic. Rangers just came up from the Championship. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful to Brendan now. Now we get into it, you know. I mean, he's in a sticky situation, Rodgers. Put some respect in Rodgers' name. Listen. Come on now. Not get it. What tinnies did I have? Tenants. The classic. When I say tinnies, I'm referring to tenants, normally. If I was drinking cans of Stella, I would say cans. Tinnies is exclusively for tenants, I would say. Let's see. James McCarthy impression. You know, we scored a couple of goals here and there. You know, four put them to sleep. Let's see. Do I think Brodgers? Do I think the Brodge will be showing the door? I thought it would have been done by now, to be quite honest with you. So I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. He'll land on his feet. You know, the thing is, I think a lot of people forget, Rodgers speaks fluent Spanish. I could see him over in Spain, to be quite honest. But I think if Gerrard gets the sack, then I think he could go get the Villa job. If Lampard gets the sack, if he could get the Everton job. So I think he'll be fine if he does get sacked. But, yeah. A super sticker. Thank you. No idea what a super sticker is, but it's $4.49, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do you know what? This is one thing I wanted to talk about yesterday. I wanted to talk about I've seen a couple of questions I actually wanted to answer there, but I've not had the chance. Thoughts on the Lundstrom challenge in Kyogo. I want to talk about Rangers and their setup yesterday and very quickly in some of their players. Lundstrom is a Motherwell quality player that is hyped up because he likes to stare at folk and because he slides into tackles recklessly. The man offers no real technical ability. He's rotten, and he's one of the most bang average central midfielders I have seen in my life. He makes Callum McGregor look like prime Iniesta. That is the honest truth about John Lundstrom. And yesterday he was absolutely desperate to get somebody and go through them because it's all he can fucking do. And he was a serial loser, like the rest of his pals in the team. There are a lot of serial losers in that side, and you could see them getting angry as the game went on. And their first half objective when they went 2-0 down was simply to hurt a Celtic player, I thought. And I think Lundstrom is bang average. But one thing I will say is, why on earth did Rangers start with 3 central midfielders that consisted of John Lundstrom, Glenn Kamara and Stephen Davis? From the moment the teams were lined up and the moment I seen them come out, I knew that we were going to have fun with them in the middle of the park yesterday. Such a negative team. I would be raging as a Rangers fan to have those 3 playing, personally. Because Steve Davis should be in his box. He should be in a retirement home, drinking from a tube, because he's about 90 years old. Glenn Kamara, good on his day. I'll give him that. I've always thought he's a decent enough player. And Lundstrom, as I've been through, bang fucking average. Yesterday, they just couldn't handle anything to do with Celtic, and I knew that was going to happen the minute I seen the teams come out. But as a Rangers fan, I would be raging at the thought of seeing that team coming out and seeing that those three were starting the game. Stuart Watson, 449, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He says, enjoying Celtic and your content so much recently, it would be theft not to give you a donation. Sir, you've stole my heart. That's what you've done. That's the theft here. Stuart, really appreciate it, mate. Honestly, thank you. And I'm glad you have been enjoying the content recently. We're going into Eric as well again. What a legend, man. What a fucking legend. Eric with a £5 donation and the super sticker. I just, once again, I love the second name. Right, a couple more quick. We've been going for, 32 minutes. So we'll try and jump through another. How many dangerous players would you put in the Celtic squad? Christ, remember this came back to bite me a couple of years ago, this question. Remember it. But it's crazy how things change in football, how fast and how much form just dictates football. You know what I mean? Form dictates it. You can't really say. But right now, there's not a Rangers player that I look at and go, yeah, they get in the team. There's no. I'm not doing this same thing that I done a couple of years ago to get me clipped. But I come on. Even a Rangers fan must be sitting there thinking to themselves, yeah, he's got a point. Because who, really? Who? We've not seen enough of their new players. Anywhere enough yet. They're fucking players that have been there for years are losers. You think I'm taking any of them over any Celtic players right now? You're absolutely... You're flying. You're off your nut. You're high as a kite, to say the least. Yes, absolutely. That's my answer to that question. Joe Hart tattoo if we beat Madrid. Maybe. Wait till I have a couple of drinks before the game on Tuesday and we'll see what I'm saying. What I'm tweeting. I remember I was in Leverkusen last year when I tweeted, if we win in Leverkusen tonight, I was in the pub in Cologne, waiting to go and get the train through. We're in the pub in Cologne and I tweeted, if we beat Leverkusen tonight, I'll get an Ange Postecoglou tattoo on my body. And we're 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go and I'm thinking, Christ almighty. I'm going to have to do this. I mean, I make a cracking video right enough, but, you know, obviously we ended up losing it, so... yeah. Score on Tuesday night. Listen, no predictions for Real Madrid yet. We'll save it for the match preview and when we're talking to Ange and such tomorrow. I'm not going to give too much away. It'll be weird actually tomorrow for context. I don't know what to do the bizarre reactions video or just go straight to the match preview, and obviously I've got the press conference, so I'll be a bit of confusion for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. 982 viewers, 33 minutes. Absolutely tremendous. I've loved it, every single moment of this. It's been brilliant. It's good to recap the game in a sober type fashion. So I thank you all for your support. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening here on Sunday. Enjoy, chill, watch Match of the Day 2 or whatever you're doing. You know. But for me, I'm going to go jump to Tesco, get a few things, and we're back on the channel tomorrow. But I appreciate you all being here. It's been a fantastic stream as always. Take care, hail, and I'll see you all next time.